Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another PrestaShop project live update or live update from PrestaShop project. My name is Christian Podemski. I work as a tech evangelist for the PrestaShop project. And today I'm joined by our two special guests, Géric and Thomas, who are members of the newly created team at PrestaShop SA. And they will present something really interesting for you later. So today's agenda is as follows. First of all, I will start with some project news. Then we will have presentation from Géric and Thomas about their team, about what they do and what they are up to. And last but not least, we will have a Q&A session. So if you have any questions regarding the project, regarding what you've seen during the presentation, during the live update, or you have any questions regarding PrestaShop project in general, feel free to ask questions, and we'll try to answer all of them. So let's jump into the project news. And first news is about PrestaShop 8.1.6. So yet another security patch for PrestaShop 8.1. This time we have two security fixes. One of them is introduced backward incompatible change regarding how you read files in back office of your store. It's important to know that those security fixes, or at least one of them, is only present if you use some of the experimental features available in advanced parameters of your store. The patch is very light, so you could either use auto upgrade module to upgrade to this latest version, or you could apply the changes manually. If you want to know more about this release, follow the release notes on the build blog. We also added a new page to the developer documentation about how you can read uploaded files by your customers or by your employees in back office securely using some new features introduced in this version. And the next news is quite a big one because it's about the new major version of PrestaShop. First alpha for PrestaShop 9 is now available. Of course, we released release notes on the build blog, but I would like to highlight a few things about alpha and what you can expect from this version. Of course, there's only three highlights on the slide, but believe me, there's much more to PrestaShop 9 and what it offers. So let's start with the first thing, that PrestaShop 9 is now based on Symfony 6.4. And let me remind you that the previous version, version 8, was available with Symfony 4.4. So it's quite a big jump from one version to another. So be prepared for some backward incompatible changes. More on that later. Secondly, PrestaShop 9 will work with 3 PHP versions at the moment, but important is to point that PrestaShop 9 will work only with PHP 8.1 and higher. So PrestaShop 9 can work with PHP 8.1 minimum version, PHP 8.2, and PHP 8.3. And last but not least, a new addition to PrestaShop ecosystem, the PrestaShop core, is a new admin API based on popular library, popular mostly in Symfony ecosystem. It's called API Platform, and full release notes, as I said, is available on the build blog. But keep in mind that what I mentioned now, so these three changes are definitely not all, and we will go in depth on PrestaShop 9 in some upcoming live updates, because there's a lot to say about. Because only one contributor, Daniel from Czech Republic, Talks, who you might recognize from GitHub and other places, introduced some great features like proper guest management in back office, or he upgraded jQuery to latest version. There are also some other features contributed by core members and community, like you can manage redirects for category page, and so on and so forth. So there's really a lot of changes in PrestaShop 9, but those three that you can see now on slides are most notable ones. So let's continue with the presentation. Let's say a few words about the new admin API. As I said, is based on popular framework API platform. You can work with API platform. It's all of its features and so on is based on API platform in version 3. So if I recall correctly, it's most recent version of API platform. And right after releasing the PrestaShop 9 Alpha 1, we also released a user guide for those who want to test API and they don't know how to start with it. So the tutorial is available on our build blog. And also remember that this presentation will be shared to you later in the live update summary and also in some other places, so you can check the slides and check all the links which are included in the presentation. And yeah, PrestaShop 9 Alpha is available. It's a major version, which means there are a lot of breaking changes. So it's important to point that we also created a new documentation for PrestaShop 9. Is of course work in progress, but it's important to note that first version of very important page of the notable changes page is now available in the developer documentation. This page consists of many information that are important for you if you create solutions for PrestaShop and its ecosystem. It contains information about changes regarding Symfony upgrade, changes regarding PHP upgrade, changes regarding some of the deprecated methods that are now deleted from the core, and so on and so forth. Of course, we are only on the alpha phase, so there's still a lot of work on the documentation. Keep in mind that we will be sharing more information about the breaking changes and how to tackle them in the upcoming months and weeks during the live update, using build block and using developer documentation. So test it today and get involved. We hope to see your feedback regarding PrestaShop 9. We hope to see your feedback regarding the new API, regarding the new features that have been added to PrestaShop 9. And remember that if you find any bugs, if you want to discuss some of the newly added features, or you just want to provide us with some feedback, there are many channels that you can contact us. You can use GitHub discussions, you can use Slack channel, you can use this live update to ask us questions. So feel free to get involved and help us with the PrestaShop 9 and upcoming versions. And now let's go to the presentations. I know many of you have waited for some news regarding the auto upgrade module and upgrades in general in our ecosystem. So good news, today we have good people to share. So let me introduce you, let me invite to the stage Thomas and Géric. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Yeah, so upgrade is very important subject for our ecosystem. So without further ado, I'm looking forward to hearing from you and community as well.
Great. Thanks, Christian. Okay. So yes, I'm Géric. I'm a product manager at PrestaShop. And I'm glad to be here with you for this session and to be able to tell you more about what we've been building over the last few months. In this part, we will present to you with Thomas the seamless upgrade and extensibility team, our first achievements and our ongoing projects. So let's go. Yes, so first things first. So what is seamless upgrade and extensibility? So the seamless upgrade and extensibility is, as you may have guessed, a new team at PrestaShop. Our goal is to develop and maintain a set of applications to ease PrestaShop upgrades. We are, for example, in charge of the auto upgrade module, also known as the one-click upgrade module. And this module, which helps users to upgrade their PrestaShop store, is currently our main assets in the team. So to sum up, it's a new team dedicated to upgrades. Next slide, who are we? So our new team was launched a few months ago. It was in March, so it's quite recent, and there are about 10 of us working for this new team, which bring together different competencies, as you can see here on this slide: product, design, tech, agility, and quality. All the skills we need to make progress on PrestaShop upgrades are in place. So we are ready to address all the challenges. But before, why a new team? We know that upgrades is a key topic at PrestaShop, and we want to offer easy, secure, and efficient upgrades. Our goal is to enable all users to benefit from the new feature brought by the latest version of PrestaShop, but also from its related services such as modules. We are already aware of the main upgrade pain points thanks to the feedback of the community. And you can see them on this slide. We've got multiple challenges to address. Improve technical reliability of upgrade to ease the user experience. Improve communication about upgrades. What are the new feature, the new version available? Gain visibility about usage to do the right optimization, develop the user knowledge about upgrades, restoring user confidence in upgrades, and finally, the last point, speed up upgrades. That's why, and given all these challenges, all these topics, we've decided to launch a new dedicated team, which is the Seamless Upgrade and Extensibility team. This is the why. So our scope goes beyond simple core upgrades. As you know, this is a central topic that is linked to a number of other PrestaShop components, such as modules, themes, dependencies, core dependencies, module dependencies, libraries dependencies, and guidelines. So the Seamless Upgrades is able to work on all these topics. We don't limit ourselves to just core upgrades. So feel free if you have any input on this topic to reach us. I'll now give the floor to Thomas, who will show you the result of our first upgrade improvements. So Thomas, it's up to you.
Thank you. So yeah, let's go back to what we've done for the last 3 months since we started all together working on all these tasks, such as the upgrade of PrestaShop Core. So yeah, it was something really interesting because when you go into this topic, there are so many things to do. You even don't know where to start. So yeah, we put our hands on this. We had a look on the issues, the backlog that was already existing. Some of you may be already aware of it because you had some presentation about it several months ago. But yeah, we have started to make some changes. We have made some progress on the upgrades, and we take the opportunity today to talk about this. So let's dive in. We are going to start by talking about the upgrade process because this is where we have worked so far, mainly on the auto upgrade module. So obviously, we are talking about a module supposed to make upgrades. So we have to be compatible with PrestaShop, especially the latest versions. During this last month, we've been talking about some releases of PrestaShop 8.1, 1.6 and 8.1.7. We are already compatible with these versions, so if you're using the auto upgrade module, you are able to upgrade to these versions. We are also talking about PrestaShop 9. Christian talked about this. We have the alpha available, and on our side, we've been trying to upgrade some shops to this version. We had some surprises because obviously we are talking about a new major version, and when we have these kind of versions, there are some breaking changes. And because we have a module quite old with that is using some really old features of PrestaShop, especially some controllers available since PrestaShop 1.3, we had some issues. Trying to install the module on PrestaShop 9 was totally impossible. We were unable to reach the configuration page, and we have started some improvements to make sure that people installing the latest version are able to use the module from PrestaShop 1.7 to PrestaShop 9. The next change is more technical. So we are not only making the module available to PrestaShop, we are trying to improve it. And to do so, we have to discover how it works. In 2018, we've started some refactoring and everything, but we were not able to finish it. So we have some surprises when we dig in the module. We discovered a few things that need to be changed. And this is the case when we try to find how the files are managed during different processing, such as the upgrade, the restoration, or the backup. Originally, I was trying to ignore some modules when I wanted to upgrade my shop. For instance, I want to take the files from the core, but not always the modules, because sometimes I already have a module that is more recent than the one provided in the archive of PrestaShop. So I wanted to make sure my modules are properly ignored during the copy. And even though I was trying to make the changes in the code, the module was still transferred from the new release to my existing shop, which was breaking things. So I wanted to discover what was happening. So I discovered that if I wanted to ignore some file, the steps backup and restore by using the method list files in there, itself calling the method isFilesKit. And I don't know why upgrade files was using another method, its own algorithm, even if it's calling isFilesKit behind. Okay, so it's one slight change. But the more I was looking at the different processes, the more I was finding something strange. And remove sample, which is another step before, was implementing another method. It was listing some stuff, but not, and the files I got were not ignored, but deleted. When you think about this, you discover that the files are deleted to make sure they are not duplicated during the upgrade process, which is similar to ignoring files. So we took some time to make sure that all the different processes were using the same method, and we took the opportunity to remove one step, which is remove sample, because ignoring file was now taken in account properly during the upgrade step. Once we have improved the way files are managed, we can talk about something else. From now, we are talking about the changes inside the database. We had so many issues about this, and one of them was reporting some migration files being executed again and again and again. For instance, someone was using PrestaShop 1.6, he made an upgrade to 1.7, so he got all the files between this version executed properly. But when you try to make another upgrade from 1.7 to 8, he got the files from 1.6 executed again. And we discovered that there was an old process to upgrade the PrestaShop, which was running the migration files, but it wasn't updating one value in the database, which prevented the upgrade process to know previous upgrade has run properly. So because of that, the current auto upgrade process is unable to know what's the state of the shop. And we cannot make any decisions about this. So we decided to display a new check inside the configuration page of the module to warn a merchant if he gets in this situation. We have to make sure that the files on the shop before an upgrade match the version stored in the database. If they don't match, we are not sure that the database is already compliant with the files. So it's a pre-check. It allows us to make a safer upgrade, and we think it's for the best. Of course, it's a new check, so it's only a string visible on the configuration page, but have no fear. We have described why we are making the change and how to fix this inside the developer documentation. we are still talking about database and the structure of PrestaShop inside it. We have other reports saying that the upgrade process went well, but for some reason, accessing the back office, the login page or any other, sometimes was failing. It was tricky. And we discovered that sometimes the database you get from an upgrade is different from a fresh install. So we had to find these changes, and to do so, we started with a fresh installation, which is easy to get, and we dumped the database. So we can see that in this case, I installed the not the latest version of PrestaShop anymore, but one of the latest, and I dump the database. I'm getting the structure. At the same time, I'm getting a very old PrestaShop, and I do the same upgrade to the same version. And once again, I'm dumping the database. Dumping a database is quite simple. You get a text file, and when you get text files, you can make a diff easily. And fortunately, no table was missing. It was not really critical, but we got some surprises anyway. Something related to columns having the bad types, the bad default value, some empty values that were incorrect. For instance, you are expecting a null value, but you got instead an empty string. So there were a few things to fix. It's been done. Even if the PrestaShop releases have been published a long time ago, we made additional migration files in order to catch up on these missing things. And at the same time, we have prepared ourselves for PrestaShop 9, because eventually we had some changes that were not taken in account for PrestaShop 9. We still had surprises, even though we had the dbstructure.sql that was not matching the migration files. Even though it is fixed, we still had differences. And this was caused by something else, which is a doctrine command that was run during the upgrade process. We don't have always control of this. Sometimes you have some entities that are extended by modules. And when you load these modules, the extension is being taken in account by doctrine, and the changes are being applied on the database. And on our side, we are focusing on the core changes. We don't always want the module to be applied in the database changes, especially we are only focusing on the core again. Also, at the same time, to run the doctrine command, we had to load PrestaShop core during an upgrade. Loading the core was loading Symfony as well, and Symfony was loading the modules. When you are modifying PrestaShop from a version A to B, you cannot be sure it's going to run properly. So calling it while it's being modified at the same time is a really bad idea. So we had to get rid of this command. And in the last version of the auto upgrade modules, we have stopped running this command in favor of migration files. So it makes, again, the upgrade process safer. We have a total control of what's being applied on the database structure. And we hope that from now, everything is going to be well for people upgrading to PrestaShop 9 and maybe the previous version. Obviously, the previous version. So we took some time to fix everything for the existing versions, but what should we do to avoid this to happen again in the future? We had to make sure that people contributing on the core was not making the same mistakes, let's say. So, for instance, here we have Jonathan who's making some changes on the locking page of PrestaShop for PrestaShop v9. And with this, we are discovering that he's making some changes, especially on the hooks. So let's have a look. We know how to make a diff between two databases. So we are going to run it from the develop branch and its pull request. If we find some changes, we we'll have to do something. So no changes. Okay, we don't do anything. But on the other hand, we have to warn him. And we have a label that already exists, but which was manually applied when the reviewer finds some changes that could impact the upgrade. From now, the process is automatic, and any change found in the database is going to trigger this label. And when you see this label, this means that you likely have to bring some changes in the auto upgrade modules where the migration files are stored. What we are detecting in this workflow is everything related to the database, a new table added or deleted, the type of a column that changes, or any key added or deleted, a foreign key, a unique key, a primary key, all this kind of stuff. Which is not covered by this label is anything related to modules, because when we run it, we only install the core of PrestaShop. We don't install the modules to make sure that we don't have any unexpected results. Sometimes you have to handle modules in their own repository. That's why we are not covering them here. We covered everything. So Géric,
yes.
back to you.
Thank you, Thomas, for all these explanations. So to sum up, and as you can see here on the slide, these two new releases of the auto upgrade module bring two main benefits: ensuring upgrades to new version of PrestaShop 8.1.6, 8.1.7, and the V9 in the future, and improving technical upgrading process on files management, on database management, for example. So you can find the zip files and the full release notes on the modules GitHub repository. If you want, you can scan the QR code on the slide to access these resources. I will now give you an overview of our current and upcoming projects for the seamless upgrade and extensibility team, topics that we are currently addressing. So we are currently working on the new major version of the auto upgrade module to bring our optimization even further. We are working on the user experience with a reworked user interface. We are continuing to address legacy issue from GitHub. We are optimizing module performance and reviewing technical processes as you seen before in our new releases. And naturally, we will be ensuring the PrestaShop V9 upgrade. So the development of this new major version is planned for soon, for the next quarter of this year. And you can see mockups on the right of the slide, mockups of the new UI of the auto upgrade module. We will be able to tell you more about it in a future live update. So you will see us again for another presentation. A bit of teasing. After this project, we will continue to work on a project that has been initiated a few months ago and presented a few months ago during another live update. It's a project to create a new application dedicated to PrestaShop upgrades. And this new application will allow us to move towards a true seamless upgrade. So stay tuned again, more to come in other live update. And finally, some useful links. So you can bookmark these two GitHub repositories to follow the progress of our different projects. So the auto upgrade module, but also the seamless upgrade toolbox. And naturally, all your feedbacks and all your ideas are more than welcome to help us improving the PrestaShop upgrade. Oh, sorry. Yep. And that's all for us. If you have any question, feel free.
Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, Géric. It's been great to see so many developments in the upgrade module. I know it's been a real pain for many to upgrade from one version to another. Even the small patches were a struggle sometimes. So it's great to have a more reliable module. So let's wait to see if somebody has any questions to you about the upgrade, or maybe somebody has some questions regarding the project. So let's start Q&A session. I see a lot of great reactions for your presentation. So yeah, this proves that this subject is really important for the community to have reliable upgrades. Frank states of facts.
And he loves breaking things, so we have to look after him. That's why we have the label, by the way.
Okay, I don't see any questions. I see a lot of great reactions from people watching. Although, yes, we have 2 questions. So the first one is from Marco Salvatore, our former tech evangelist for PrestaShop. And Marco is asking whether the upgrade module will be replaced by this new tool.
No. The auto upgrade module will continue to be available.
That's why we're working on it, by the way. We want to make sure that it works properly before switching on something else. And potentially you're going to have several solutions to upgrade your shop.
The next question is from Daniel, PrestaWorks. What is the process for upgrades from older versions regarding PHP version? Should we change to PHP 8 before upgrade or after? And just to put some context, it may happen if we upgrade from an early version of 1.7 that wasn't compatible with PHP 8, for example. So what would be the plan for? I guess this is not an issue that is solved now, but I guess you discussed it during the discovery phase.
Yes, no, it's not mandatory to have a PHP 8 to upgrade from an older version. We've got in the developer documentation table of compatibility between PrestaShop and PHP. And for example, you can do a lot of things with PHP 7.1. So it's not PHP 8, but you can make upgrades from older versions thanks to based on PHP 7.1.
Okay, and now let me invite Matthew, who is one of the members of Leadership Council of PrestaShop Project, to answer a question from Daniel Chlawacek. Hello, Matthew.
Hello.
So we have a question from Daniel, and I think you are the best person to answer this question. And Daniel is basically asking, how will the upgrade work for the users using GitHub zip release, since you decided to hide this for PrestaShop 9? Meaning that the zip is not available for PrestaShop 9.
Yes, the zip is not hidden. There will be no zip. It's different. Okay, so currently the auto upgrade module works as this. You are on a shop, you download the module, you put there, and then you give the auto upgrade module a target zip and a target XML file, which contains the checksums of all the files, so that the upgrade module is capable to take your shop and then apply the migration steps. So basically, you can give it in the zip. I know some people who currently build their own zip, their own distribution, and the autogrid works with it. If you build your own zip, your own XML, you can just upgrade from whatever shop you are using to any distribution you have. It works. That's really good. And then comes the question of the zips being made automatically available inside the module, because when you run the upgrade module, for example, you're on a shop, and then you go inside the back office page of the upgrade module, and you can see, hey, there is a new version available. You can upgrade to, if you're in 1.7 to V8 or the latest 1.7. So there is a list of zips already made available, so you don't have to provide your own zip. I think we will have in this list the zip from PrestaShop.com, which is also known as the classic edition zip, because we need to provide one zip, but people won't have to absolutely use this one. I think, because I'm not sure, but that's my guess.
In any case, there's a freedom of use. As you mentioned, there's a local archive option, and you can do whatever distribution you want to upgrade to. And also, there was a question asked before the live update using the form that I forgot to put to the presentation. So let me show it on the screen right now. Paul Campbell is asking about the documentation, how we approach documenting new features at PrestaShop. And he's asking, while there have been impressive improvements with regard to retrospective documentation, thanks to Thomas Nares, can I ask why there is no documentation requirement for new features that are added? An example would be in 1.7 when the facility to allow modules to create their own product customization. Surely, if a new feature request is justified, then its use case could, indeed should be, demonstrated and documented, for example, by way of basic example. Matthew, would you like to answer this?
Yeah, totally. So I would love to be able to say, hey, yes, we're going to document 100% of the features being added, but I am also realistic. I don't think we can enforce it. Basically, there is just, I think, two ways. But let's say tomorrow we want to make this happen. So we say every time there is a new feature, you need to document it. I see only two ways to do it. The first one will be, hey, I see you have submitted a pull request which includes a new feature. Please also provide a pull request to the documentation to explain it. And I think we tried to do it in the past. And if I remember correctly, it was making the contribution process even harder than it is already today, because then you need to have two pull requests, and maybe you're making changes in the pull request against the core. So then you also need to modify the pull request in documentation. So might be a disappointing answer, but I feel like it would be a little bit too much, and it will hinder the contribution process. The other option would be to say, hey, after we have merged the pull request, we would say to the author, it was great, thank you so much for the pull request. Could you please add a pull request to complete the documentation, which we could totally do, and then it depends on the author goodwill. And so it was always available. If it's still answering us, I can't say we're going to ask the maintainer to document 100% of the features being merged, because that's just too many features. So we can't put this burden on the maintenance team. So little disappointing also, I guess, but yeah, that's how it is. So since I don't want to hinder the contribution process, and we could always say, hey, this is a new feature. We could put a reminder saying, don't hesitate to complete documentation. If you think your new feature should be documented, please submit a pull request, but I don't think we can enforce it with the current structure of the team and with the current situation of the project. Basically, having this is just in order to have such a complete process, you will need a very big team and a lot of goodwill. However, if you find holes in this documentation, and yes, I guess there is, don't hesitate to contribute also and add them. Sometimes it just don't have to be like 100% done at the right time. Like they're already going to be missing things. Don't hesitate to add them afterwards. This is also a good moment to do it during the alpha or just after a new release, because we try just to make sure. I'm just saying we are documenting nothing. I'm saying we have documented as many things as we can, and we try to do our best. But yes, there are going to be holes, and I can't say no, don't worry. We're going to make sure there will be no holes. However, we're going to document as many things as we can, and please help us to fix the holes.
Exactly. I think this is very important. And this is why we released alpha version of PrestaShop. If you create modules for PrestaShop, themes and other solutions, if you integrate with PrestaShop, you probably have a better ways to test compatibility of your solutions with the core of PrestaShop. So if you noticed anything different between versions, any deprecations that are too much even for a major version, if you've noticed some of the information being missing from the documentation, let us know. We also improved the process. So now if there is a new feature and we know it has to be documented, we are adding a new needs documentation label, just the same as we do with the auto upgrade PRs. So we try to keep things clean, but we try our best. Sometimes, the work is so difficult that we will document features sometime, after the release, for example. And I see that there is a follow-up question from Daniel. So if somebody just clicks to upgrade to latest release, the PrestaShop.com edition will be sneaked in his shop. I don't know if sneaked is a good word, since there will be one official version of PrestaShop, but I will let you, Matthew, to answer on that.
Short answer, without discussing whether or not the words are right. Yes, but just to make it clear, this is already, for example, what happens for 1.7 users. Like if today you are on 1.7.6 and you upgrade to the latest 1.7.8, it sneaks. It does the sneaking action, and it's already been like this. So it's already what was happening for 1.7.
I have a question from another Daniel. In PrestaShop 9, module front controllers will be implemented as Symfony and roots in same way as currently admin controllers. The question is no, they won't be implemented the same way. There's no a wrapper around legacy, just like it is in PrestaShop 8, for example, in backoffice. But since in PrestaShop 9 there is a front container available, fully featured Symfony container available, I think there are some possibilities to utilize that. But I'm pretty sure that we haven't checked anything in detail in this regard.
I think,
and we will probably
question
could have a similar approach to the front office when it comes to this, hybrid layer where we have Symfony over the legacy layer. What do you think, Matthew?
Yes, I think beyond the question, there's another question, which is, hey guys, when will we be able to have a Symfony powered front office? Because well, it's true that you don't have to do that. You could enable the use of Symfony for modules before rebuilding the front office, but I believe that will come at the same time. And if I can answer the bigger question, we are still migrating the back office. It's a big piece of software. I don't remember the exact number, but I think we are now like 80%, 85% of the back office being done. And I think we don't want to start working the front office right now, because when you start to work on two big topics simultaneously, well, then you go twice as slow on the two topics. So I would prefer that we continue with the current speed on the back office. We make it done. It's behind us. It's closed, and then we can do the front office. Also, I guess it's a little bit disappointing for people who really want to use Symfony controllers in the front office. But sometimes it's more wise to say, okay, let's finish what we started before starting even more topics.
Question from PrestaWorks AB. Will Hummingbird be ready for PrestaShop 9? And what's the plan for Hummingbird in PrestaShop 9?
It depends on what you call ready. Some people are already using Hummingbird, so I guess for them it's ready. We will put most probable things going to happen is that we will have a ready version of Hummingbird for PrestaShop 9. By ready, I means maybe not everything will be completely polished. There might be a little some bugs left because it's really hard to reach the zero bugs, but there will be no big issues. All the major topics will be covered. However, it's software, so we could always find like a very, very big issue in 2 weeks, and we find out that we need to rebuild the sim from the beginning because it's a design issue, and then we can't be there. So I cannot tell you today, yes, 100% sure it will be ready for PrestaShop 9, because until PrestaShop 9 is published, we are never sure. But I guess, yes, it will be ready for PrestaShop 9.
And I think there's one more thing to all of it, is that releasing a theme is not only about making this theme bug free or even stable. It's also the fact that releasing a new theme impacts the entire ecosystem for PrestaShop. It impacts all the modules that work on front office, all the solutions that use themes. So it's a very heavy task where we need to not only take care about the theme, but also about the documentation, about the tooling, about all the things necessary to have a good adaptation of a new theme in our ecosystem. And there's a follow-up question from Daniel. He thinks we didn't understand the question because when upgrading from 1.7 to 8, we got a new neutral version with some modules, but now we will suddenly get installed many, let's say, unwanted modules.
It's not a question, but I'm going to answer anyway. Yes, I understand, Daniel, that you don't like this situation, but if you want to use the module, you need to go from one shop to a zip. So we can't upgrade people to a zip that does not exist. So I don't see any other zip available, and we need to provide a zip for people to be able to upgrade to. So I don't see how we could do it else. And I don't think we can say to people, hey, you can't upgrade to 9. So I don't see any other solution. We can make inform people clearly what's going to happen and to be sure that they know. But I don't. Once again, I don't see any other option.
Okay, and I think if somebody wants to upgrade to a neutral version of the build they like, they are more like a power users and they know what to do. They know what they would like to do. If you just click the upgrade button and you don't care, you probably trust us to provide you with the best version possible. That's how I see it. I don't see any more questions unless there are some regarding Hummingbird or PrestaShop 9 or whatever. Let's wait a bit. And as Daniel pointed out, releasing a new theme is not only about having the theme ready, it's also about having the core ready, the ecosystem, and having all the tooling and all the means for module developers and solution authors to make their solutions compatible with this theme.
I think it's important here to pinpoint something. Hummingbird theme will be ready, but it will not be the default theme for PrestaShop 9, which is different. Indeed, if you want to make a theme a default theme, then you have other things to change. And this, we're going to keep it for the next major version, I guess, the 10, because as you mentioned, there's this, and honestly, this is not so much work, changing this and making sure that Hummingbird becomes the new default theme. The big work actually is to push the PrestaShop ecosystem to adopt this new theme, because we know things take some time, it's slow. People need to get used to Hummingbird, to see how it works, to find out how to rebuild the module or the child theme using Hummingbird. Or, by the way, you can also continue the classic if you prefer. It's Gracing is going to be still working because it's just a theme. So making it default is a longer action that does not only need code changes, but also habits changes, or I don't know how to call it. And this is going to take months. So we will never be ready for V9. That's why it will be for version 10.
Yeah, definitely. And we know what happened when we change one theme to another between 1.6 and 1.7. Nobody wants to have the same story again. So yes. And I don't see any more questions, so I think we can call it for a day. Thank you, Géric. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, Matthew, for joining me today. Thank you to all who participated in today's live update, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all next month or maybe in 2 months, depending on our summer schedule, I would say. From other news, PrestaShop 8.1.7 is very close to being released, so keep an eye on our build blog. The presentation will be shared inside the live update summary, probably later today or tomorrow morning on the build blog. So thank you all for participating in the live update and see you next time. Thank you, guys.
Thanks. Bye.